Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is April 21st, 2023, and welcome to the latest episode of the Big Daily Blend podcast. It's Friday.
Yay.
We love Friday. And today is Robert Smith from The Cure's birthday.
Cool.
So we've got to kick off our music playlist, our soundtrack of the day with Friday, I'm in Love by The Cure. And also on this day, he was born in 1959 on April 21st in Blackpool, England, which we love Blackpool. It's fun. It's a fun little touristy town.
It really
I don't know
is
if it's
fun.
little anymore, but
I don't think it's little, but it's fun.
as a kid, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
There was a huge toy store there, and I remember eating rock and candy and going on the pier.
Candy. If you say
Well, rock is like a
candy
English.
cane.
It's a thick candy cane, and it's not good for your teeth, but it's yummy.
But it is good.
We all loved it as kids, and I would eat it now. Not that the dentist would like that,
No.
but we don't care what the dentist says. Today it's Friday. We
Lisa.
do care. Well, yeah, because I have to talk about a dentist. Well, teeth in a little
really.
bit. But anyway, Friday I'm in Love is a song from their 9th studio album, Wish, that released on this day on Robert Smith's birthday in 1992. And it features the hit single Friday I'm in Love. So that kicks off our playlist. And it is also their highest charting album, Wish, which debuted at number 1 in the UK and number 2 in the US charts when it first came out. And it's still going, and they're back on tour. That's very cool for
That's
all the
really
Cure
awesome.
lovers, especially my generation. And my generation's very young.
I'm not saying anything.
All right, so Nancy and I decided last night that, hey, let's have a festival. Because today kicks off, well, it's John Muir's birthday, so
And
sometimes
that
it
is
falls.
awesome.
I know
He's
he's
an awesome
controversial.
dude.
He's controversial. We have some stuff to talk about him later, but it's his birth anniversary, which sometimes falls on Earth Day. Tomorrow's Earth Day. It kicks off National Park Week tomorrow. Then Sunday is World Book Day. There's all kinds of things happening in regards to music, books, the art, and nature, the arts. And so we thought, hey, we're going around the world. We have all these interviews across the country, around the world. Let's have a Big Blend Radio pop-up podcast festival celebrating the world. So all the good stuff, right?
It's a BBPP.
You just wanted to say PP.
Big Blend pop-up.
It's a pop-up.
Party.
We all want to have a pop-up. So we're kicking off with today's Big Blend radio interview. It's all about foodie destinations across the country, around the world, from Hungary to Washington State to Florida, you name it. We have Diane Dobry and Janine Consoli, both food wine travel writers with the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association, talking about destinations and things they eat. And I even asked them things they, as travel writers, we have to eat things sometimes we don't want to.
No.
And we go like we don't want to, and then you do it, and then you go, oh, it's no, that was worth it, depending. So we had a good conversation. Saturday, we have of course, we're going to kick off with the Big Daily Blend, Nancy and I, plus some Hollywood history about national parks with Steve Schneikert. And then we're going to have a short interview with Debbie Stone. She's on our show every fourth Tuesday, talking about her latest destinations as a travel writer. But she did a quick segment about a memoir written by Emily Pennington. It's called Feral, Losing Myself and Finding My Way in America's National Parks. Perfect read for,
Awesome.
National Parks Week. And then we have physician, scientist, and children's book author Dr. Bruce F. Scharschmidt, who talks about his new picture book, Tina, the First Tooth Fairy, and it gives parents the opportunity to talk dental health. See, we're going back to that. Candy.
Didn't we go to a park that had the tooth fairy or some fairy in it?
It's a lot of
The
fairies.
fairy dust person.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it had that bridge and the water.
Oh, there's a
Yeah,
bridge with fairies in it. There's that's in Lake Luna. It's near Chimney Rock in Asheville. There's like a bridge, and then there's fairies. There's like fairy gardens that people do, which is cool.
There we are. Yeah.
But anyway, this is about teaching kids about environmental sustainability, and so it's a really cool book. And he's an awesome, awesome man. He's done a lot for livers in the world.
A lot for livers?
Yes, liver transplants. all that kind of good stuff. He keeps people alive. It's very cool. So he's on our show tomorrow. And Glenn Burrows from Norfolk Tours. We talk about, and he's on our show every fourth Saturday. Normally talking about England, but he's a big proponent of supporting local and small business, especially as a tour guide. He wants people to have an authentic English experience instead of like, here's the same hotel that you can see in New York if you go to England, right?
Oh, no, you want to do something different.
Right. And we talk about that connection about small business and doing local things, how it connects to the environment, even as far as customer service, how bad customer service affects the environment in a negative way, because basically no one's paying attention. Anyway, so we had a little bit of a rant on that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We did, but we have a lot of positive stuff in there too. And Glenn is amazing. He's a very positive human being who always reminds us that one action can change the world.
That's for sure.
Yes, we can all make a positive impact. And after that, Nancy wants me to clean my room.
Well, that would be positive.
I know, right? Also, Sunday, we get into it's World Book Day. And our Big Daily Blend is hosted with Joey Stuckey, an amazing musician, producer, and also the music ambassador for Macon, Georgia. We know like Macon, Georgia's iconic, right, in regards to music. So we have him. And then Sheetal Shah is the author of Shakti Girls. It's an amazing collection of poems illustrating the stories of 13 unforgettable, powerful Indian women that reflect the diversity of India and its diaspora. So diaspora, however you want to pronounce that. Everybody's got a different way. But Sheetal is an amazing lady and also an educator. So we thought, hey, it's World Book Day. It'd be perfect, right?
I love World Book Day.
And Trouble in Tucson is an anthology of short stories from writers who love Tucson. And so we have a panel discussion with the authors airing on Sunday as well. And since we were in Tucson, we're also launching a new podcast series with Lance Laber, the Tucson dude, who talks about the infamous artist Ted DeGrazia, known for his Southwestern art. Man, DeGrazia, no matter how many times Lance is on the show, there's always something new to learn about Ted DeGrazia.
That guy, DeGrazia did so much, so fast, and in so many different ways that there's always, that's why there's something new. The guy never stopped.
He has integrity to his art, which is hard to do because everybody wants you to sell out. And they thought he sold out because he reproduced his art, but he was like, no, I'd like to live, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a starving artist.
You shouldn't starve just because you love art.
No. So his story is fascinating. So we're doing this every fourth Sunday with Lance talking about it. The DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun, if you go to Tucson, is a must visit. It is inspiring. Just the architecture, the adobe, the gardens.
And I think DeGrazia had a really, really, really quirky and good sense of humor.
I do too. I wish we could have met him.
Me too.
He's
one of the people on my list of I wish I could have met because I think he would have been funny.
We would have sat and had Chivas Regal with him.
Yeah.
He used to drink with Lee Marvin.
Oh, well, there you go.
He had a lot of celebrity friends. Diego Rivera.
I would go drink with Lee Marvin.
Yeah. So, and also Lance talks about how he met Frida Kahlo.
Yeah,
when he was working as not an internship or apprenticeship with Diego Rivera. It's a fascinating history. Anyway, Monday we go to the world of music, and we start off in Athens, Greece, with experimental electronic music artist Billy Ifantis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we'll find out later. His new album, it's an otherworldly music album called Birds in Space. And he recorded real bird sounds for this. So you can, It's that connectivity. See, we're still celebrating Earth Day. It's Earth Month. Then we go to England. Liz Lenton was on our show a few years back with her music and with her band Auburn. And she's got new music that she recorded, the pandemic sucked for musicians, but she's in Lincolnshire, the Lincolnshire countryside, and you can see that when you watch the YouTube video interview. And Favorite Mistake is her new EP coming out April 28th. But she did this EP starting in Lincolnshire. Then it went to London, Wales, Sussex, and even Australia, and then all the way to Nashville to record this EP.
Wow.
So I'm, we're
That's a
sticking with
journey.
the world theme.
That's a journey.
Yeah, she's amazing. And then we go to California to where we have an interview with David Noble, the founder and lead singer and guitarist of Pardon the Interruption. I love this band. And so their new album is out called Hot and Fresh. And we talk about California music, San Francisco, the Bay Area where they are. But he also toured with Nina Hagen, who is the godmother of punk, right? And so that keeps a little international tie there. So anyhow, I thought we'd add their song, Hot and Fresh, Opa, from their Hot and Fresh album, Opa, onto the playlist, the second song of today's playlist for our Big Daily Blend. And then after that, we're going to go to Iggy Pop because he's the grandfather of punk.
He's so much fun to
See
watch.
the ties, these segues?
But
Yeah.
he really is so much fun
I
to
love
watch.
Iggy. I love Iggy Pop. So I thought, hey, we're still doing travel, so let's play The Passenger. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
But it's still iconic. It still makes you get up and go, yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go.
Right. So, happy birthday to Iggy Pop, born in 1947 as James Newell Osterberg Jr. Yep. Of course, we know him from the Stooges, and he's still going. He's still going and rocking it out. All right. So, some holidays, Nancy. It's National Rendering Day. You render down the fat. Because they say that America, we basically look at animals, 50% of them being inedible. So we don't use the whole animal in this country. We're kind of...
See, I would look
Need
at
to
that
grow
as
up.
rendering a piece of art. Like you make a piece of art.
Yeah.
I would never look at it as rendering.
It's so that we don't throw food away. Like, when we have Thanksgiving, don't just throw the rest of the turkey away. What can we do with the bones to make broth and things like that? And you make animal food with it and all kinds of stuff. So
don't waste.
Yeah, don't
basically.
waste. So it's like actually cook things and use them. It'll save you money. And if it saves you money, it often is better for the environment. So I had to get this song out because of keeping the international feel too. Tony Allen from Nigeria. It's one of my favorite songs, Home Cooking. Home Cooking.
I'm laughing.
Anyways, from his 2002
laughing.
album, Home Cooking. It's from Nigeria, but he was a drummer and band leader of Fela Kuti's Mighty Africa 70. And he's part of how he fused Fela's love of jazz, funk, and African high life music into the groove known as Afro beat. I love it.
But see, that's just like when you're cooking. You throw a little bit of this and a little bit of that in there, and it comes out wonderful.
It's an art, and it's about love and feeding your family, your friends. It's love, like Ruth Milstein says. It's cooking with love, and that leads me to Chickpea Day. It's National Chickpea Day.
That's funny.
Yep, observed every April 21st in America.
Awesome.
Yes, it is the amazing legume, the chickpea. I have a bunch of chickpeas here.
Alrighty then.
They're my clean snacks from Melissa's Produce, and they're like dried chickpeas.
They're
They're
really
so
good.
crunchy and good with, there's lime and chili, and then there's some that are garlic. And it's a healthy snack, very good fiber for us. But Nancy used to make hummus all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hummus, falafel. Ooh, we should do that. I want falafels. Ooh, I want a falafel.
Me too.
Yeah, falafel. I got a song for that.
Okay.
Tom Rosenthal's Big Pot of Hummus. We're playing it. It's on the playlist.
Hummus is really good
Listen,
for you.
it
It's
is.
really healthy.
And we've got, speaking of hummus, this is kind of like a falafel recipe. Ruth Milstein, Cooking with Love, the author of Cooking with Love, ventures into the new Israeli cuisine. She's on our show every third Sunday. But her recipe is spicy chickpea rice burgers, especially if you're vegan and vegetarian. This is a good recipe. Delicious. So that's up there in the show notes. But we've got, of course, the Big Pot of Hummus song from Tom Rosenthal. But it's also chocolate-covered cashews day.
Oh, boy.
And like, what are you going to say? It's just, that is like heavenly
goodness.
deliciousness.
Yeah.
And so the Wood Brothers, like that's their name, their album Ways Not to Lose features a song, Chocolate on My Tongue. And basically they're like, if I die, just make sure I have chocolate on my tongue before I die. Like, that's it. I just want that.
So good.
chocolate and cashews. Just the texture of cashews. There's something good. So that's on the playlist. And then today is National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day. And it's about thinking about expired prescriptions and all kinds of things that can sit there and not be good for you. But they also say, don't flush it down into our water supply.
Oh, no. Mommy nature doesn't want that.
Yeah, it negatively impacts fish and all kinds of things, thinking of Earth Day. So there's better ways to dispose of our medicine, and we need to look into it so it doesn't end up, don't flush them down the toilet.
No.
And don't take expired drugs. Sometimes that's not a good thing either.
No.
They say that's a no-no. Just like our makeup, women do not go past that 6-month thing. And I think it's probably shorter. It could be 6 weeks, but don't. The makeup gets weird too because you keep dabbing your face, then it dabs into the makeup. No.
It's wake up in your makeup.
I know. And I said dabbing, and it is International Hemp Day. After 420, now we have International Hemp Day. Hemp does a lot of good stuff. But anyway, I've actually got a song for the Medicine Cabinet. It's called Medicine Cabinet, and it's from the band Cactus Attack. It's a fun song. Check it out. Again, music, all of that stuff is in the show notes. And some history today is that the Rolly Fingers of the Milwaukee Brewers became the first pitcher to record 300 saves. That is back in 1982 on this day. 300 saves. That's huge. That's huge. The Seattle World's Fair Century 21 exposition opened on this date. It was the first World's Fair in the United States since World War II, and it opened in 1962.
I love World Fairs.
Well, then in 1964 through 1965, the New York World's Fair opened for its second and final season. So it came and went, and I have a song for that.
Okay.
The Skatalites. They have World's Fair as a song. The Skatalites, like Skatalites, are a ska band from Jamaica, and they played pretty much through 1963 to 1965. So think about this. The World's Fair was happening at this time. And they record many of their best-known songs in that period, including Guns of Navarone. Now, fast forward to 1990, the International Ska Festival and Earth Day celebration happened at the Greek Theater in San Francisco with performances by International Beat, the Uptones, and Bad Manners. 10,000 people attended, and it kind of started getting ska into the American public and audience, right? We knew ska from Africa pretty much. It was there, I think, because of the Jamaican connection.
It sounds very familiar.
It's like reggae, but it's like got the horns, and it's a little bit more jazzier. It's like... It's badass goodness. So anyway, the Skatalites are on there with their song World's Fair in the music playlist. We talked about John Muir. So John Muir, like Yosemite National Park is iconic. He did so much to protect Yosemite, Kings Canyon, which was also known as the General Grant Grove and, Grant's National Park. He did a lot for all of that region and other parks in history. And, of course, he worked with Ansel Adams. But he's the one who really got Theodore Roosevelt. There's that whole story of him getting up in Yosemite and having that overnighter. And he got Teddy Roosevelt to look out at the stars and all that good stuff. He was vegan, But he wasn't very socially nice to people, so of different race. So that's a no-no.
He was an introvert.
Right. So the Sierra Club, they're still like, what are we going to do about this? But he was a little bit on the racist side from what I've read. I'm not sure about everything, but it's sad when people aren't as perfect as you want them to be. And, but he really did save Yosemite he really, really did a lot in regards to nature and getting people to understand the world. And people back then are not as clued up as they are today.
Absolutely. There wasn't that much information.
Right.
And you could wander about, especially I think he was very much an introvert. If you didn't partake in a lot of conversations with a lot of different people and you're focused on one thing only, I think you could get a little bit
rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been out, like you said, he's known as John of the Mountains and also the father of the national parks. He's a naturalist. He was an author, an environmental philosopher, botanist, zoologist, glaciologist, and early advocate for the preservation of wilderness in the United States of America. So
he did a lot of good.
When you stand up for things too, you also become a little bit on the abrasive side because you have to have that thick skin, right? Anyway, so the music on today's show in honor of John Muir's birthday, he was born in 1838. Think about that, right? Is the Ballad of John Muir. It's by the Black Irish Band, and Patrick Michael Carnahan is the leader of the Black Irish Band. He was actually on our show about, I'd say, 10 years ago.
It's been a while.
A while ago. But we first connected with all of this. John Muir, and obviously Yosemite is internationally renowned as one of our two very first national parks, and which spurred off the national park system, which is why, National Park Week starts on Saturday, the day after John Muir's birthday.
Right.
Sometimes it all lands on John Muir's birthday, Earth Day, and National Park Week. But anyway, Patrick was on our show, but he is out in Tuolumne County, which is on the west side of Yosemite. So if you go through Groveland, you can get to the park. Tuolumne County is also home to Jamestown, and that has that amazing railroad history. So Patrick is also an artist, an oil painter, specializing in American railroads. He's a wildland firefighter, and of course, those areas really have had a lot of issue in regards to that. He also owns and manages a ranch and winery in Jamestown, so he's pretty cool. And so we're playing the song "Ballad of John Muir," and from the Black Irish Band, his band. They have an amazing, in Sonora, I think he's from Sonora area too, but Sonora has an amazing Celtic festival that happens every year. So you might want to check that out if you love Highland games and Celtic music and all of that.
And kilts.
Yeah, and kilts. Men in kilts.
Men in kilts.
You never know. Like
You
if they're
never
tossing
know.
those capers, they
You
might do a
know.
twirly. There's a tilt in the
Uh-oh.
kilt and the twinkle
We
in the
went
eye.
there.
It's
We
Friday.
did.
It's Friday. We have the article "Yosemite is Nature's Cathedral" up in our show notes by Debbie Stone. And then it's also the birthday of Anthony Quinn. He was born on this day in
Oh.
1915, the actor.
He's a great actor.
Charles Grodin was born on this day, the actor, director, and talk show host, born in 1935. Patti LuPone, the singer and stage actress, was born in 1949 on this day, and so is Tony Danza. The actor and comedian was born on this day in 1951. Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Nicole Sullivan, the actress, was born on this day in 1970. And we closed talking about Charlotte Bronte, the author, was born on this day, April 21st, 1816. Passed away March 31st, 1855. Very young. And she really suffered through her pregnancy. And that's really how she died from, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good time. She was an English novelist and poet. We all know Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre.
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 Yes.
You want to say Eyre or Eyre? It's Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre.
She was the eldest of three Bronte sisters who survived until adulthood and whose novels became classics of English literature. And we have a link about historic English ladies of literature by Glenn Burrows, who's on our show tomorrow, up in our show notes. So check that out to learn a little bit more. But yeah, she had a rough time, a rough life, but the girls all wanted to they opened a school and it didn't work to get pupils, so they turned to writing.
Wow.
And they did it under different pen names and then went, okay, now we're doing this, So it's amazing. So our quote of the day is from Charlotte Bronte. "A ruffled mind makes a restless pillow." Is that not true?
Well, you can't sleep if you're still thinking all night long.
No. We're going to close the playlist with the song Jane Eyre, the theme, by John Williams from the movie. So we hope you have a wonderful Friday. We will see you tomorrow. We have a lot of podcasts happening at our pop-up podcast festival celebrating the world. Because why not? Let's party. Let's party. It's spring. That's what Robin Williams says. Spring is like it's time to have a party.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the birds are doing.